This is tutorial 3-1 in GIS Workbook 2. In this tutorial, we're going to be learning how to display density for analysts. The first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding our tutorial map. Now, when I did this, I ran into a problem that I'm going to show you pretty quick. When it loaded, instead of getting the data, I had two red exclamation points next to my shapefiles, meaning that the pathways must have been altered. This might be a typo in the book or the CD that comes with the book. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add this census block group. The major roads was just on there for visual effect. It's not really that important for what we're doing, so we're not going to worry too much about it. So you're just going to do your add data, and you're going to go to your Esri Press folder. Oops, wrong one. Go to your GIST2 data census database, the DFW region, that's Dallas Fort Worth region, and then you're just gonna choose a census block group. And there we have that. Now we can remove the other two. And you don't need the roads for the assignment or anything. Just being able to use the census block group is all you need. The first step we're going to do now, starting the actual tutorial, is we're going to right click and we're going to copy it. And then we're going to paste it right back onto here. Now the first real thing we're going to do is we're going to change what one of them is going to be. The top one is going to be 2000 population, and later on we're going to change the bottom one to 2000 density. Okay, and then we're going to go into symbology, quantities, and just like we have in previous tutorials, we're going to change it to pop 2000. We're going to keep this the way it is. We're not going to change the breaks or anything, but we are going to change the labels of what they are. We're going to do it in a very simple way to where anyone can look at it and understand it and not be confused with numbers. We're just going to use low, medium, and high for the first, middle, and last, and then we're just going to go back and delete those two, the second and the fourth. Once that's done, we're just going to click OK. And that's it for the population 2000. Now what we're going to do is we're going to right click onto this one. We're going to go to the attribute table. And they want us to add a new field. I already went ahead and did it, but I'm going to delete this and redo it. They want us to create a new field that shows square miles. The shapefile already has it, which I found a little weird. I think this is just to make sure we can check our work. If not, that's just another error that this one suffered. Square miles. And you want to make it a float because a float is a value that can have decimal places. You could do a double, but that would be kind of overkill. And then what we're going to do is we're going to right click on square miles, and we're going to use calculate geometry. You want to come down here and change it to square miles, then click OK. And then what it's going to do is it's going to calculate the area of every polygon. and seeing that it matches these, it means it was done correctly. With that done, now we're just going to X out of here, and we're going to go into the properties now for this, and we're going to call it 2000 population density. Then we're going to go into our symbology, quantities, pop 2000, and what we're going to do is we're going to normalize it by square miles. So it's going to tell us how many people are in a square mile. As you can see, you know, some are very big, some are very small. And what we're going to do is what we did with the last one. We're going to do low, delete that one, medium, delete that one, and high. Then we're going to click OK. And you can't see the density one because the population one's on, so we're just going to turn that off. And as you can see, population per square mile is actually pretty low, except when you get into the urban areas, which are right around here. Whenever you have a large polygon for a census block, it's generally a rural area that can encompass maybe an entire town, so that's why sometimes they have a large population when you look at just population. But however, you go into these and they're generally a lot of people in a very small area. So right here you can see that this must be like a lot of apartment complexes and houses closely packed together. Now there's a year turn that you have to do, and it's basically it's real simple. You're just going to do the same exact thing, but for 2004, then we're going to compare the years. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold the shift button and you're going to click on both of them. Then you're going to copy, and then you're going to paste. And then all you do is you go in, change it to pop 2004. But as you can see, when we did the last one, the highest population for 2000 was only 10,000 and something. It has increased about by 6,000 as the large. That's going to come into play later. And the book doesn't really talk about this for when you do the comparison, so we're going to do it a little bit different from the book. Now, if you remember in the last chapter that we did, and we gotta just go in and change the titles for these so we don't get confused later on. In the last chapter we imported values. We're going to do that for this one. So we're going to, seeing that these have the higher values, the 2004, we're going to change the 2000 ones. So we're just going to double click on 2000 population, go to import. We're going to go up here, we're going to choose 2004 population, click OK, and we want it to be 2000, click OK, and then we're just going to go into classify. And as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one's like way over here. That's fine. You can overshoot the highest number, and that's fine. You never want to have your last one say be here, because then these would be omitted. We're just going to click OK now, then OK again. And an easy way of seeing that, to make sure that it hasn't omitted any values, is to turn it on. You don't see any white patches. If there were a white patch, it'd mean it was completely omitted and it has no value. So we're going to do the same thing to the 2000 density. We're going to import. We're going to compare it to the 2004 density, or population density, but change this value to 2000. And we're going to go in and look at this again. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth one's right over here. Now by doing this, we can compare the actual values exactly. I just have to go in and change these. Whenever you do it, for some reason it didn't go in and change the legend. Normally it does that. I'm surprised it hasn't. But it's an easy, quick fix. Okay. Now what they want us to do is now to compare these, normally what you do is you do a layout view showing the 2004 population next to the 2000 population, and the 2000 population density next to the 2004 population density. But the problem with that is they're going to be small, because you're going to have to squeeze them on the same page, or you're going to have to print out two maps and then flip them over to see comparison. What we're going to do is we're going to use the swipe tool, and what that's going to allow us to do is basically see the change by, it's actually just easier to show you. This only works in data view, so you're just going to come down here and click on data view. We're going to zoom out. I'd like to see the whole state, or the whole county, I mean. And they want us to do population first. So what we're going to do is turn off our densities and just turn on 2000 and 2004. You're going to want the 2000 on top of the 2004s, because we're going to want to see how it changed over time. So with those on, what we're going to do is you're going to come up to customize toolbars, and you're going to want to turn on your effects. I already had it on, but I'm going to turn it back on just so, and it's this one right here. It's the same one we use for when we want to do transparency. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make 2000 population your layer of choice. Then you're going to click on this tool, the swipe layer tool. You're going to click on it, and you're going to get it right here, and you're just going to click. And when the little hourglass or spinning circle goes away, you're going to press and hold the left button, and you're going to move. And as you can see, what it's doing is basically removing the top layer so you can see what's underneath. And as you see, a lot of census blocks have changed. They've increased in population. You can also do it from top to bottom, or bottom to top, left to right, right to left, whatever. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do that with the density, just to see how density has changed over time. So we're going to turn off those and turn on our two density populations. Come over here, choose 2000 population density because it's the top layer. Then we're going to click on our swipe tool again. Come over here, click, then press and hold the left button, and as you can see, there's a few census blocks that have changed. It's not as dramatic as the last one, but it just shows you where the highest like per square mile increase has happened. As you can see, a lot of these changed in the last one, but overall it hasn't changed that much per square mile. So that means that the births were probably very far from each other in these areas. And that's it for this tutorial.